something happening here, but what it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there.
All right, guys, welcome to the Crazy Pills podcast, and today I'm going to talk a little bit more about crypto, and then specifically it's, okay, how do you make money in crypto, especially as this current bull run is coming to an end, and then maybe the price is going to be going down, but how do you actually still invest and make money during that time, okay? So when I talk about a bull run, it just means like over a bigger cycle, even if there's a lot of volatility where the price is going up and down, in general, over a big enough time frame, it's going up. Okay, so and last March, I think the price of I'm going to use Bitcoin, even though crypto is not just Bitcoin. Right? I think the price crashed down to like $3,800 for Bitcoin, and then in April of this year, right, it rose all the way up to a price of $64,000. Right, then over the summer in July. It actually went all the way down to a little bit below $30,000, right? It's a huge move, right? If you're more familiar with the stock market and the percentages of stock market, like you don't see that kind of move in the stock market. And then, so in July, it went down to a little over under $30,000. And then as of about like 10 days ago, it actually hit a new all-time high of $69,000, right? So even though there were big swings, in general, the price is going up. And if you watch some of the videos I put out earlier, I do believe the crypto bull market is coming to a close. The way I'm playing it, at least, I think Bitcoin will top out between $72,000 to $85,000. So probably this next push up, where it sets a new all-time high, that'll probably be where the high is for this bull market. And then the question is, how long are you in a bear market for, right? In the past, traditionally, crypto bear markets have been about 4 years. I think with a lot of the adoption, so real world use of crypto, the bear market will probably be a lot shorter. But regardless, I think most people that are really like following it and then involved with it can agree that we're gonna get some kind of bear market, just because it's been so hot for about a year and a half now, and we are in a bubble, okay? And it's really not just crypto. You know, I talked about this again in the past. I think the real estate market, the stock market, and the crypto market are all in a bubble, and that bubble is going to have to pop. Okay, so when that happens, I'm just going to talk about the crypto aspect and how you can still make a lot more money. Okay. Before I get into that, let me just touch a little bit on this idea of Web 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0, and that'll actually help tie in the big picture. Okay. So Web 1.0, you know, that's when the internet first became available to the public, really. So, you know, if you're old enough, you probably remember in the mid 90s where you got an American Online account, right? And you do the dial up, it takes forever. You finally log in when they're 56K, you can open a website and there's like a picture there. And it was really, really cool because, wow, like we can actually connect something and see it. And it was awesome, right? And as it progressed a little bit, there were like chat rooms, which is, you know, now you think about it, it's kind of weird. But it was a really, really cool thing to actually be able to connect online and just chat with other people back then. And then we had email, right? But the first big jump from Web 1.0 to 2.0 was actually in the early 2000s when social media and videos, so specifically like YouTube, became available, right? So Web 2.0 changed how information was distributed. So before it was like, hey, look, there's these 3 news channels, and then maybe you've got cable, you maybe have access to a couple of news channels. You know, there's magazines, there's newspaper, but that's essentially how people got information, right? And then as social media and videos became available, information became a lot more widely available. And then for institutions and governments, people that are in charge, it also became a lot harder to streamline a message, okay? And I think that's a good thing, because the more you can censor and control information that people can get, the more dangerous it can be to manipulate people. Now you can make an argument for the other side where there could be false information, right? And people could be misled when there's too much information available. But, you know, given the consequences, or given the choice, I would much rather information is freely available, and then some really good stuff that could potentially be censored can make it out, mixed with maybe false information, as opposed to just information is controlled, and then that's all we get, okay? Now, we're currently moving into Web 3.0, and Web 3.0 is called the Internet of Things, right? So some examples of like the early versions of Web 3.0 would be things like Uber and Lyft, right? Or Airbnb or Venmo, right? These are things that, you know, traditionally it was taxis, right? It was hotels, it was writing checks and then like cashing them at the bank or paying cash. And now we're actually using the internet to start replacing those functions and making them a lot more efficient and faster. Now, Airbnb, Lyft, Uber, and Venmo are still pretty centralized as far as, you know, there's an entity that's like controlling them, and they could still actually do a lot of stuff where they can make it unfair for the user, and there's not a lot we can do about it. As we move into Web 3.0, the function will be built out by people, but as far as like control of the function, it will actually be a lot more decentralized. And then if you actually get into crypto, the people that are actually participating will actually be able to govern and then dictate what direction that goes, you know, and it's, it sounds kind of scary, right? Because it's like, well, then it could go in all these bad directions. But the whole idea is that the people that are actively participating, one, are a lot more informed, but they'll actually act to make sure the system does well. Because if you're participating in the system and then the system does well, then everyone that's participating in the system will actually benefit more, right? And that's what will keep winning. And then when you're doing stuff for the benefit of the system, and you're moving towards that direction, then the individual participants are actually winning more. And that's the general idea, okay? So with Web 3.0, that's where crypto is really gonna take over. So if you're thinking about crypto as like magical internet money, which it actually is, right? But it's just like meme coins, or it's like NFTs, so it's like JPEGs that are selling for millions of dollars. To me, those are like kind of like the bastardized versions of it, you know, where like there's a lot of hype, you know, celebrities or like YouTube or Twitter celebrities will hype it up and they're generating short-term hype, but it's not something that you actually want to get into long-term or even short-term to make money, you know, because by the time you hear about it, it's already usually a little bit too late. And the whole idea is to sell to the greater fool, right? So if you bought this picture at $1,000, right, it could be stupid, but if you could sell it for $2,000, it could be smart. I mean, but inherently there's no real like value. It's just you got in and then you were able to sell to someone who was willing to buy it. But there's always going to be someone left holding that picture at the end that thought they could flip it for higher and they can't. Okay, so a lot of the people that are hyping this kind of stuff up, they're actually getting paid to hype this stuff up, or they own this JPEG and they're hyping it up so they can actually sell it to other people, right? And I've seen this in the last year and a half so much with, for example, NFTs, right? So there was like an NFT craze in July and August of this year, so not a few months ago. There was another one, I think around like February or March, and then there was another one last October. And it was just, all I saw on as far as like with crypto was people talking about NFTs, and then there are a lot of people lost a lot of money, and they're actually still holding stuff. They didn't try to sell the stuff, thinking they could eventually get their money back. And then there's a lot of people that took advantage of that, made a lot of money. Okay, but like crypto, the idea, the technology, and what's being used for itself, the fundamental stuff, right? Think a decentralized version of Uber or a decentralized version of payments, or a decentralized version, or even like how we transact real estate, right? So rather than real estate agents taking 3% on each side of that transaction, when you have a decentralized network set up where you can link buyer and user, you can cut out the middleman. It becomes a lot more efficient and actually benefits people using it. And then you don't have real estate agents actually, in my opinion, leeching off the value in the middle. And it's very, very harsh to say that, but that's just my opinion, okay? So on to how to make money, okay? So I think there's 3 ways to do it. And I'm going to talk about it a little bit, but this is the stuff where you can actually start looking into it, depending on which one resonates with you. And then you can make a lot of money on this. Okay, so the first one is just price appreciation. Okay, that's very obvious, right? If you buy something at $1 and it goes to $1.50, then you made 50% on your investment, right? So that's an easy way, not easy way, that's a simple way to make money during a bull run, because in general, you think something's gonna go up, right? You just buy and hold, and then you're gonna make the money, okay? When it comes to price appreciation, people wanna get into the stuff that's already hyped, okay? But usually it's hyped because it's already gone up a lot, right? So for example, right now, if you want to buy Bitcoin, if you want to buy Ethereum, you want to buy Cardano, so ADA, you want to buy Solana, those have already gone up a lot. And then people that are just getting into crypto, they'll have their friends where they'll look at videos and people are like, hey, look, this is a solid project. Look at it, it's already gone up like 4,000% in the last year, right? That's actually not a positive. That's actually a negative. Because if it's already gone up 4,000% in the last year, how much upside is left in that, right? But it feels safe, it feels comfortable because other people are telling you that's a good project, but it doesn't actually have a lot of upside left in price appreciation. So in my opinion, if you're gonna buy for price appreciation, you wanna actually buy stuff that hasn't moved a lot, because crypto right now, when it's this like bull market and then price appreciation cycle, it rotates. Okay, so the money will go from one project to another. And then so let's just say Solana has gone up a lot, right? There's gonna be a point where it's just gonna kind of hold there, maybe bleed off a little bit, maybe go a little bit higher. But no matter how solid the project is, it's not just gonna keep going up. It's gonna kind of hang out there. And then as new money goes into Solana, the existing holders are actually going to sell out of it and then rotate into another project. And I've seen it happen a lot. And when it rotates into another project, it doesn't even have to be a project that's solid or really has a use case. It's just because that's kind of low relative to whatever its all-time high is, or it just hasn't moved a lot, right? And it's maybe like it could be a solid project, or it could just be something that's getting a lot of hype. And then as money starts flowing into that new project, then it's the same thing, the hype builds, and then it just starts going up by a lot. Best example I could think of off the top of my head recently is Ethereum Classic. So Ethereum Classic, right, has a name, it's called Ethereum Classic. And then there's Ethereum. So Ethereum branched off of Ethereum Classic a few years ago, and because there's differences in opinion, and also Ethereum is just a way more advanced network than Ethereum Classic. Ethereum Classic isn't very secure. Just since I've been following crypto, at least 2 times, it's been hacked, and we call it like 51%. So someone actually took control of it by hacking into 51% or more of the miners, and then they had to actually roll back the blockchain to reset it so that whatever the hackers did, they can undo it, right? That's unusable. It's a dead project, no one's using it. But in May, I saw it go from about $3 all the way up to like $180 in a period of a few weeks, right? And that's kind of this price appreciation thing I'm talking about that's at play, okay? And at the time when it was $3, there was no hype. But as it was going up, people were FOMOing in because, hey, look, it's just moving a lot. But inherently, there's no real value on the project. But if you just held Ethereum Classic at $3, and then you sold out, and when you're determining when to exit, my favorite exit strategy to use is to use Fibonacci's, so Fibonacci. You can look that up. It helps you determine when you want to get out. That's the way to play it, okay? Now, when it comes to price appreciation, that's not going to be your main strategy when it's not in a bull market. It could be a solid project, but when the crypto market as a whole isn't really hot, you're not going to get stuff that just goes up like crazy. It'll go sideways, it'll go up a little bit, but then it'll go down. So you're not actually getting projects to just wait for price appreciation, okay? And I think we're about to hit a point really soon where we're going to hit this euphoria phase, and there's going to be a lot of new people getting into crypto and just thinking it's going to price appreciate. And then when the masses come in, yes, the prices are going to go crazy for a short amount of time, but then that bubble is going to pop. Okay, so that's price appreciation. Now, if you are going to get into price appreciation, I recommend not getting into stuff that's already moved a lot. So basically, anything where there's a lot of people that think it's a good idea, it's not. It's already moved a lot, right? And then the second one, you want to, if you have to get into something, right, ideally you could get into something that's a more solid project, right? So something like Shiba Inu is not a solid project. It's, you know, it's a meme coin, it's building on hype, but it's not actually doing anything. And if you read their white paper, right, which is kind of like a paper that they put out saying what they're going to do, they can try to make it sound like it's solving the world's problems and everything, but that's up to you to start being able to kind of see through the bullshit and then realize, is this project actually going to be useful? Okay. So ideally, if you're going to invest into price appreciation, you could get a project with solid fundamentals that have good partnerships, and that hasn't also moved a lot, right? That would be like the best investment to get into for price appreciation. But if not, at least get into a project that's not being hyped now, that hasn't moved a lot. It could be a shit project, but it has some name value, or, you know, Ethereum Classic is on like Robinhood, I think. It might be on Venmo, don't quote me on that, and PayPal. All right, so you can get it even though it's not a good project, but at the time it hasn't moved a lot, right? So when some money flows in, or once some money rotates in, it's going to go off by a lot. Okay, so that's price appreciation. The second one is airdrops. Okay, so airdrops is basically new projects have to figure out a way to distribute their token. So the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, they're supposed to be regulating stocks, right, or investment contracts for companies. They've been really trying to enforce stuff in the crypto market, which in my opinion is a complete overreach, right, because cryptos aren't stocks. But for new projects, the way for them to actually get around the SEC being able to come after them is to actually distribute their tokens initially without selling them, right? So they're giving them away for free, and those are called airdrops. And there's obviously going to be a lot of just nonsense projects, but there's also some really like useful or projects that could potentially be really good. One off the top of my head recently I got, it's called, the ticker symbol is ELS, called Elysium, and it's something for NFTs. And you literally needed to open a wallet and then deposit 12 XRP as reserve. So basically you just have to hold it on the wallet. You don't actually lose that. And 12 XRP is worth about like $14 at the time. And then when I got the airdrop, you could actually sell those tokens for about $950. And it was just ridiculous. It was like one of like the most like mind-blowing things. I'm like, I didn't do anything. It took me maybe 5 minutes to research this and set this up. And then I just deposited 12 tokens. I don't even lose. I didn't, you know, I'm like, you know, I'm not paying for it. I'm just setting it up. And then they took a snapshot of what I set up. And when they distributed the tokens, it was like $900 something worth. You know, it was just free money. So for a lot of people like, oh, I want to get in crypto, I don't have money. Look up airdrops, and then look up ways to actually get airdrops. Because there's going to be some stupid projects too where you can make a lot of money. But really right now, as crypto is kind of taking off for the use case, right, Web 3.0, there's a lot of projects that are trying to bootstrap. So bootstrap is just to get it off the ground running. Existing users of different tokens, and they're actually giving token holders. So if you hold something called XRP, if you set it up, right, it's your XRP, you don't have to do anything with it, but if you set it up in a wallet and they take a snapshot of it, then they'll actually distribute these new tokens to existing XRP holders. And then from there you could hold it and participate in the new project, hoping for the price to go up, or you could actually just sell it right away, and then just make a lot of free money. It's actually pretty ridiculous, okay? So those are airdrops. And it does take like a certain personality. Like I participate in a few airdrops, right? It's cool. Not necessarily like my thing, but you know, I'm paying attention enough to be able to take advantage of this. But there's some people I know, just based on their personality, they would kill it and just getting airdrops. Okay. The third and final one I'm going to talk about is staking and earning yield. Okay, so I talked about DeFi, I think the last video I put out. So DeFi is short for decentralized finance. And decentralized finance, just think basically it's now replacing the banking system. Okay, and not just you having a account, it's lending. It could be actually providing insurance. It could be something to start tokenizing like stocks and ETFs. So basically you could do everything on a blockchain and you don't have to actually go through traditional like stock exchanges or even crypto exchanges, and everything actually done through a decentralized exchange. And when you do that, there's a lot of way to take existing value that you already have and then stake it or basically hold it in a way where you can earn a huge return. Okay, so like right now, I think like most recently, I think I read that like the average savings account is giving you like 0.25% APY right now, which is really, really bad, right? Whereas like some of the conservative stuff you can do is you can earn like up to like 20%, and it's actually like relatively safe and conservative. And the reason why you can earn so much is because as these blockchains are taking off, there's a lot of incentives to actually participate, and you can actually get free, like rewards from the project to actually put your money there. And a lot of them are actually already well-established projects. And as more and more money comes onto that blockchain, then the rewards will get less and less, right? So if you are actually into DeFi, well, let me take that back. So if you're actually into like using the money you have to start building revenue streams and passive income, DeFi is one of the best ways to do that. And for me personally, the one I'm the highest on, I talked about this, is a network called Flare. And they actually also have a test network that they launched recently called Songbird, right? And it's just a test network, and even on the test network, I've been doing pretty well, okay? So 3 ways to make money is price appreciation, which I do think is gonna come to the end soon, airdrops, which will keep going, and then DeFi, which will keep going. And if you're actually participating in those things, even when the bull market's over, you can actually still do really well. And then never mind, like if you make it through when the bear market and you can make it to the next bull market, right? You can make money during a bear market, and then even a lot of the assets that you acquire during the bear market, it would just really blast off during the next bull market, and you could set up for like generational wealth. So I think anyone that's been paying attention can realize that there's a lot of instability in the world right now, right? We don't know what's going to happen with our currency, so the US dollar, and really a lot of different currencies around the world as there's massive money printing. You can see like our health system there's a lot of stress going on in our health system as far as public trust. It's coming under scrutiny on a lot of the stuff that's going on. Politicians, right? What's going on, say like in Hollywood, like even like professional athletes are under like a microscope that they've never been in before. And we're at a point where there's going to be massive instability, and then a lot of this stuff is going to reorganize. And I think crypto is something that is going to be at the forefront of this as we transition to Web 3.0, as we transition to more decentralization. And there's just a lot of opportunities to take advantage of. Even if you have little to no money, you could still get started, and from there compound and build off of just putting time and effort and understanding some of the opportunities that are available, for example, with airdrops, and then actually make a lot of money from that. Okay, so hopefully that gets you thinking. It helps open some possibilities for you, and I'll talk to you guys again next time.
Hi, my name is Bob, and I approve this message.
I got the magic in me. Every time I touch that track, it turns into gold. Everybody knows I got the magic in me. When I hit the floor, the girls come snapping.
shoot with the eyes. Come on down to the front, stay right here and don't be shy. I have you time traveling, have your mind babbling. People trying to inherit the skills, so they asking me. Even David Blaine had to go and take some classes in. I see Mind Freak like, what's up, man? What's happening? So come on, come on and see the show tonight. Prepare to be astounded, no ghost or poltergeist. You know I'm no Pinocchio, I never told a lie. So call me Mr. Magic Man, I float on cloud nine.
I got the magic in me.
I got the magic, baby.
Every time I touch that track, it turns into gold.
Yes, it turns to gold.
Everybody knows I got the magic in me.
I got the magic, baby.
When I hit the floor, the girls come snapping at me.
They be snapping, baby.
Everybody wants a blast of magic, 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 magic. Oh, I got the magic in me.
Take a journey into my mind. You'll see why it's been in my rhyme. Stay on the road, so I call my mama when I got time. I hit the stage, go insane, then jump into that crowd. See when I rhyme, I flow, wanna beat like put-a-da-da. See, I deceive you with my intergalactic ether. I sing just like Aretha, so respect me like I'm Caesar. I kick it like Adidas, blowing sticky like adhesive. Be cautious, cause what I be on to leave you with amnesia. I break all the rules like Evo Knievel. It's a spectacular show, cause my heart pumps diesel. So whatever you saying, it don't entertain my ego. I do this every day, hocus pocus is my
I got
stilo.
the magic in me.
I got the magic, baby.
Every time I touch that track, it turns into gold.